Today I want to talk about the 5 most important supplements for your diet. Let's go! Alright, listen closely here. Supplements, as the name suggests, are optional. Okay? I want to get this out there. You don't have to take any supplements, both for fat loss and muscle gain. Real food and training is all you need. Okay? Now, once you understand that, you have some spare money left over to spend on supplements and you want to get the last 5 or 10% out of your diet, here's what you can do. Let's start with creatine. Creatine gives you more strength in the gym and can also be consumed through your diet, but you have to eat a lot of red meat, for instance, to get, say, 5 grams of creatine in. It's way easier and cheaper to just consume it as a powder. Now, this obviously is only relevant if you are lifting in the gym. If you're just trying to lose weight, creatine does not help you in any way. It actually makes it worse because creatine can make you hold more water. So creatine only if you want a little bit more strength, a little bit more, power in the gym. But don't expect any huge results. Creatine just gives you a little bit more power in the gym. There are also non-responders out there. So there are people out there that take creatine and they don't get any effect from it. Doesn't mean it's like bad quality or anything. It's just that they are non-responders and they just don't respond to creatine. So if you don't feel anything from it, just don't buy it anymore. But remember, only if you're serious about muscle gain. Next up is protein powder. Protein powder can be the cheapest high-quality protein source that you can find on the market. Here in the UK, you can get really cheap high-quality protein powder if you have a little discount, which you will always get from stores like MyProtein or bulk powders. But make sure to don't buy it from a local store unless you want to support them, because a local store always has to have a higher margin because they have to rent the space and they have employees and stuff. So then the protein powder isn't cheap anymore. I personally only take protein powder because it's cheaper than meat and cheaper than most other protein sources. And you can mix it with, for instance, oatmeal, which is sort of low in protein, but if you mix 1 scoop of protein powder in there, it ups the protein content of your meal. But again, you don't need protein powder. A lot of beginners make the mistake and buy protein powder because they think it gives them more gains. You don't get any more muscle mass from protein powder than you get from eggs, meat, dairy products, or even lentils. So use it only if you can get it fairly cheaply in your country, and or if you can't get enough protein in through your diet. So a lot of ladies, they struggle a bit with eating too much meat or stuff like that, or just protein in general. And adding 50 grams of protein in a smoothie is a lot easier than eating it in real food. But make no mistake, whey protein is digested rather fast. I wouldn't advise to eat too much protein powder in a cut because it goes through your system really quickly and you will not be satiated for long. So I usually only have 1 scoop per day, if at all. Then we have omega-3s. You probably heard of them. This is more on the important side of things because most people actually have a really bad omega-3 to omega-6 ratio in their diet. But you can also just eat fatty fish like salmon to increase your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. So depending on if you like fish or maybe flax seeds, you can just get the omega-3 through your diet or you consume it as a supplement. Personally, I like the plain liquid form where you have it in the bottle more because you can get more just by putting it on top of your meal or something. And most capsules are also underdosed, so you get very little omega-3s from them and you have to chuck down like 6 to 10 capsules depending on the manufacturer. And most people will probably struggle to eat 10 capsules, and it's just easier to sprinkle a little bit of 5 grams of oil or something on your meal and be good. Again, only if you don't consume fatty fish or flax seeds. Then we have magnesium and zinc. Both are very important for your health, for your sleep and other things in your body. And a lot of people have a deficiency in them. But I wouldn't take them just for the sake of it. Get your blood work done, see if you're actually deficient in one of them or both of them, and then go ahead and buy yourself some. Don't just buy it because you think it makes any difference. If you're efficient in both of them through your diet, which is fairly easy, you don't need to supplement any of them. Oh, and by the way, if you think you will recover faster just by eating magnesium, that's not the case. And lastly, vitamin D. This is, out of all the supplements I told you about, probably the most important, because it is really rare that somebody has sufficient vitamin D levels without supplementation. But because you can't really get enough vitamin D3 through your diet, and getting it from the sun, which I have a little bit now in London today, is also very hard, because unless you live in a very hot place and you go outside at 1 or 2 o'clock in the evening and you stay outside in plain sun for an hour, you will not get enough sunlight to actually build enough vitamin D3 in your body. So if you live, for instance, in the UK or anywhere else where you don't get too much sunlight, or you're just not in the sun during the day because you work within a room, chances are you are not sufficient in vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is also very cheap, so get your blood work done and then get yourself some vitamin D3, because chances are you are not sufficient in vitamin D3 because you're not getting enough sunlight, especially nowadays where most people live mostly inside. And that's a wrap. That's all you need. You don't need any BCAAs or testo booster or any of that other shit that is out there. Don't spend too much money on supplements. There is a reason why they are called supplements. Spend more money on food, or maybe a gym membership, and maybe even a personal trainer if you're really serious about stuff, and just make some gains. Thanks for watching, and maybe give this video 1 or 2 thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and maybe also subscribe. See you next time. Let me know what you want to see in further videos. Let me know what questions you have so I can answer them. I really just want to help you guys out. Cheers! Oh, one more thing. I didn't tell you how much you should take of any of the supplements, right? So creatine, you just take 5 grams every day. Every day, you have to take it every day. If you stop taking it, you just don't get any effects anymore. And you also don't have to front load or anything like that, or take 20 grams per day in the beginning. Just take 5 grams and your creatine stores will get topped up at some point, and it's all good. So 5 grams per day, all you need. Now, omega-3s, if you take roughly 3 grams of highly dosed, high quality omega-3 oil, you're good to go. You can take more to even increase your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, but getting roughly 3 grams of omega-3 is enough to at least get most of the benefits. But you can go higher. There are some people that actually say you have to take 40 grams, which is a little bit excessive, but take 3 grams and maybe go a little bit higher if you want to. It's never a bad thing to have omega-3s in your diet. So if you want to take more because you have the liquid form in the bottle, go right ahead. With protein powder, obviously I can't really give you any recommendation of how much you have to take, because you only take it when you actually want to increase your protein content. So just take as much as you want to get to your target goal of protein per day. So if you have 20 grams of protein left over and you want to increase your oatmeal by 20 grams of protein, add 25 grams of whey, and that will roughly lead to 20 grams of pure protein. So there's that. Magnesium and zinc, I would not recommend anything because it really depends on how your blood levels are. Taking too much doesn't really help you in any way. So in that case, I really just would either take what's on the label, what they say on the label, or even better, get your blood work done and then ask your doctor how much you have to take when you actually keep the diet you had before to get to the level where it's actually sufficient. And with vitamin D3, this also depends obviously if you're in the sun at all, but having a too high vitamin 3 level is not really a problem unless you are really high. So I would just take 2000 to 5000 IU, which you will find on the label, how much that is for your respective brand that you have. So I took 10,000 IU once and got my blood work done, and I was at the upper range. So not excessive in any way, but upper range. So I just decreased it a little bit. So now I take 5000 IU per day, and that makes me pretty much sit right in the green spot. Obviously, I don't get much sunlight in the UK, and I'm working inside. So if you get more sunlight, you don't have to take that much. But with 2000 IU, you're usually in a good spot. So there you have it, and happy supplementing. See you next time.